All right, Chainlink, macro TA, we're going to focus on the monthly charts. And yes, I do mean plural. We're going to look at USD valuation first. Then we're going to look at Bitcoin and Ethereum valuations on the monthly as well. And look where we could potentially see Chainlink macro price peak based on all three charts on the macro TA. So let's get right to it. If you like the video, if you find it helpful, subscribe, thumbs up. If you want more help navigating the rest of this cycle, help exiting, keeping money, more education, how to do stuff, how to stuff real good, check our link below through Patreon. You get access to our private Telegram alerts group. We do a lot of education there, and you get access to a lot of extra stuff, my personal indicators that I use, how to set them up, and more. Let's stop talking like Ace Ventura and get right to it. Okay, so we can see the thorn in our side for Chainlink for just 5 years now, going all the way back to 2020. Look at where our high wick is this very month. Previous range high close, we got a little bit frothy there. Maybe some signs of things to come, right? On our next move up, typically, when we start to close above the 21 months, that yellow line, it tends to be bullish for a couple more months at least, right? Back here, worked out well there, worked out well there, probably going to work out well again. Now this dotted line, you might wonder, it's just for reference at the end of the year, right? So that's the new year, just so you can see how much time we got left. Could we get up above 40, 50, 60? Well, sure. But typically, like we just said, Chainlink starts to gain traction and do good things after a close above the 21 month, which we're knocking on the door of doing within the next week, right? We have to take out this yellow line at some point. We'd love to just blast through it. Maybe we get a big candle next month. Take us back to range highs or maybe price discovery for this cycle at least. If we can get back to, $25, $30 sometime in August or September, I still think that leaves us some room for some nice blow-off moves, especially if we get into a nice alt season. We want to be watching Total 3 start to outperform Total 3. Total 3 outperform 2 and 1. And once Total 3 starts to, clear ahead, by a wide margin of Total 2, then you'll likely be on the door of alt season. And not until then. So I still think we probably have a couple weeks, if not a couple of months left until we're in, full blown. I still think that we are likely going to peak sometime between now and the end of this year for, Bitcoin and all of crypto. I would love to be wrong on that. And if you're going to be wrong in profit, right? So if we're going to be wrong and we're still going up through, another year or so, great. Just not in that boat yet. Haven't really seen anything that really argues against that. Maybe some things in tether dominance you could probably argue. Maybe we see a little bit of an extended cycle, but if we're going to peak now by 2025, we're running out of time. So we need to copy paste of what Chainlink has been doing against USD, which is close above the 21 month and then continue to rip, right? That's what we're looking for. So August, September got to be pretty good months for Chainlink and get us back to kind of these range highs, $35, $40 before Q4, and then we got some time to run. We still got some room to run, okay? So the monthly still looks okay, but so far we're rejecting where we've kind of the line in the sand has been, right? Going all the way back to 2020, range lows close, range highs kind of flipped there, the 21 month, right? Kind of flipped that, held that, got back up. Look at where we held the line in our first move up, no surprise. And that's where we are again now. So breakthrough here and all hell breaks loose for Chainlink and we could see some nice gains. All right, now having said that, a USD valuation, could we get $50, $60? Well, sure, that's all fine and dandy, right? All-time highs, but you got to back that up with, you got to be outperforming Bitcoin and Ethereum. So let's do that. Let's go look at that. How about we start off with Bitcoin? All right, monthly chart again. Have we been in a downtrend? That's a big 10-4, right? Lower high after lower high after lower high after lower high. Almost a full round trip here with Link BTC. Almost all the way back to 2019 lows. Okay, where are we going to hit the reset button? Well, it's got to be right now, right? We're on the monthly. Where could we possibly get up to? Well, if you haven't already deduced it, I'm guessing best case scenario, we probably get up in this area, the 0.5 fib, right? Range high, range highs, range lows from last cycle, 2021 lows, new cycle, even bear market highs, bear market highs, bull market highs, end of cycle highs potentially. Okay, so what does that mean? Well, if we do the math, and you can play around with this yourself here, if you, let's say Bitcoin peaks out at 150,000. Okay, so let's grab our calculators. 150,000, right? And then multiply that by whatever price you see there, 0.045, right? 0.00045. That gets us, roughly $67 Chainlink valuation in USD. And you can play around with that. So if you want Link to go higher than that number, then you would either A, need to wick above this, which again, I don't really anticipate, or B, we would need Bitcoin to get a higher USD valuation than 150K. Hopefully you're following that simple math. We're not so simple. Between now and the end of the year. Now, could we do it? Sure. But we'd have to go on a pretty good rip here. Okay, so let's look at a potential, how about like a bars pattern, right? Let's do that. So if we take like just let's take a simple move here. Copy and paste over that. Let's say we started there. Let's say we start now. Well, that doesn't do much, right? That gets us to the 382. So that valuation is going to be much less in USD than 67, which was up here. So we're going to have to go on some kind of a bigger move than we've seen this entire cycle, which you would expect because we haven't had an alt season. Hasn't even sniffed one, right? So if we're moving into that, we could expect a bigger move than this. But if we were to even rhyme with that move, that would get us up to at least the 3 valuation, 0.003. So you can just do the math, right? If you think Bitcoin's going to go to 175,000, okay, you take 175,000 times 0.003 or 0.004, right? And then you get that USD valuation number. Okay, but in my book, based on past 5 years here of TA, I do not think that Chainlink is going to close above. Maybe wicks, maybe on the best case, if we do actually go into a full alt season, maybe we could wick to the 618. So you can play around with that, but closing above here is highly improbable. Could we get up here? Yeah, sure. We also need to be noting that 50-month. We might only close up around that area, right? So do these valuations as you will. You can do these on your free time when you're not playing with your cat. All right. So that's Link Bitcoin TA on a macro monthly perspective. We got to reverse this downtrend. Step 1, take over that high, which I think we'll do. Right, we should be doing that. And maybe we just get a monster wick here. Maybe it comes back all the way back down. But I think we'll get a bigger move here between now and the end of the year. We'll get an alt season or a couple alt weeks maybe. And we should get up around this number. Right? I think alts are due to kick it into gear here in the next couple of weeks to months. All right, so now let's move on to Link Ethereum. The same thing. Okay, we need to kind of hold the line here. We have the Fibonacci's again from last cycle peak to the bear market lows. And you can see with Ethereum, right, similar zones, range highs, going again all the way back to 2019, range lows, consolidation into the bear market, range highs into the bull market start, into the bull market 2025. Still held in that zone. So could we expect another wick up there? For sure. We have a low, a higher low. We're looking to establish another higher low before kind of outperforming. Now it's going to take really an alt season to outperform Ethereum because Ethereum's doing quite well at the moment, which is why Link is not against ETH, right? But we could expect a move again back up to this area. So 0.008, you can do the same math. So I put out an Ethereum video yesterday looking at potential highs for that, and I'm guessing somewhere around 6,000. We could potentially go up to around 8,000, but again, similar numbers. We look at ETH BTC on that video, so you're gonna have to check that out as well. But so let's say a rough $6,000 ETH peaks out, right? Let's do our math again. We can do it together, or I'll do it for you. So $6,000 Ethereum, and let's say Chainlink wicks back up here, right? 0.008. That's a $48 USD Chainlink, right? So if we want Chainlink to go higher than $48, one, we need ETH to go higher than 6,000, or we need Chainlink to outperform ETH to a valuation greater than 0.008. That's the only two there, right? That's the only reasons you're going to get higher. Now, you could potentially see an argument maybe getting to the 0.5 fib like we looked at on ETH BTC, right? You have some range low wicks, really some initial consolidation there. So you can do that math pretty much easier, right? You have if you just take the penny valuation against Link ETH, right? A lot of confusing. We're switching back and forth in charts. But so you have a $6,000, Ethereum, and you go to the 0.01, right? You have a $60 Link, right? That's pretty simple. So you can follow that. Maybe we'll wake up there. $8,000 Ethereum, get to this valuation, right? We have an $80 Link. So maybe a little bit exciting there, right? If we have low, higher low, higher low, we have a high, really a high, higher high, higher high. We're in a little bit of an uptrend, but we need to accelerate that uptrend and maybe wick up to that valuation if we want to get real excited for our Chainlink USD valuations at least. So I think it's important context to know what your altcoins are not only doing against USD, but what are they doing against the heavy hitters, Bitcoin and Ethereum? And where is the resistance lines? Where's the Fibonacci lines on those two, right? Looking at other valuations is definitely important. So we look at all this kind of stuff, and again, in our Patreon group, and a lot more educational stuff, a lot of extra indicators, helping you get out of the cycle, keeping the most profits you can. So if you're watching this long, do yourself a favor and at least try it out. A lot of people in there have been there for years, 5 years even, some long people. Provide a lot of extra value in there, and even when I'm not on YouTube, I'm in there every day for hours. So I'll see you there. Hopefully help me help you, right? All right. So I'll wrap that up, and let's get to our quote and card of the day. We had this on the problem in the last video, and we might have to call it. If you want to hang around, I'll load it. Not loading. We're on dial-up here. All right, McLaren 750S, kind of car of the week. All right, we looked at this on my other videos, but I mean, what's not to like? And the Chainlink Blue, of course. Why not? We got to keep it there. Maybe this is going to be the car of the week until Chainlink is above 20. Might as well do that. All right, pretty epic. All right, we'll end it there, and we'll see you on the next one.